going on? Zash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. How you guys doing? Welcome to the video. Hopefully it finds you all doing well out there. Today we're going to talk about oh man. Plarium did a good thing, right? We've been spending a little bit of time on negativity lately the last couple weeks here on the channel, mostly regarding the arena, and I think rightfully so, right? It's important that we talk about these things. It kind of remains to be seen if this fix is going to fix things. That's another video for another day. In good news though, about 2 weeks ago, they came out with this buff to Cleopterix, a legendary champion that everybody can get for free from the daily login reward fragments eventually, right? But really cool. She's my favorite Spirit Affinity Nuker now in the game because they went just absolutely crazy with the buff to her multipliers, which is absolutely great because she was so underwhelming, you know, previously, right? We're going to talk a little bit about Hex in today's video too, right? I'm going to give a little Hex rant as well. Let's take a look at this. Skill 2. Feather Barrage, damage multiplier increased, okay? Effect added will place an increased crit damage on this champion for 2 turns. And then the A3, damage multiplier increased. They don't really say how much or, you know, what this actually means, so we had to wait a little bit and try her out in-game. Now, the new multipliers, as you can see from hellhades.com, is 4.5 multiplier on her A2, 4.7 multiplier on her A3. Those are god-like damage overall ratings, both of those, and a nice healthy 3.5 on the A1 as well. So having 2 strong AoE attacks with over 4.5 multiplier is incredibly strong. Probably puts her second to Trunda in terms of overall sheer damage on 2 AoE attacks in a kit, even above like Ethos, right? So this is really significant here. And you can't just look at the damage multipliers on any champion. You also can't just look at the attack on any champion. It's a combination of both of those, obviously, and the gear that you have on the champion, right? Obviously as well. So I see some players saying, wow, that attack is so...
Today I thought forever said that you...
Larry! $40 for a skin! Maybe we'll think about that skin another day. This is the first time I saw that offer, by the way, recording this live. Yeah, how do you feel about these Arbiter skins, guys? Come on, man. Yikes. I can't believe the cost of this. For one skin, the Jade Serpent skin, and because I'm a degenerate, I'm gonna buy it, of course, obviously. But we're gonna complain about it first. And then,
Hello there, it's me.
Oops. Take 2. Cut. All right, so here's the new Arbiter.
I'm still here.
How do you put the skin on? Take 3. Cut. Oh.
Still in the room.
What the frick? So let's take a look at the new Cleo here. Let's take a look. So really good now in terms of just damage, right? She's still annoying with all that Hex baloney that she does, right? Cleopterix. First of all, she looks cool, man. She looks cool. It's hard to take the biases that I had about this champion previously and forget them now. It's hard. I don't know why, but when she sucked, I kind of didn't think she would look that cool. Now I'm like, wow, she looks really cool. Come on, Ash. But the wings are very Griffin-like, something going on here. The armor's really cool. She is just aesthetically very pleasing champion. I like it. I like the whole look she's got going on over here.
You're dead and out of this world.
Spirit Affinity again, so she's better, in my opinion, than Yannicka in terms of other really good Spirit Affinity nukers out there in the game. Let's talk about her skills really quickly here. So on Death Dive, her A1 attacks 1 enemy, has a 50% chance win both to place in a weaken for 2 turns. Also, the chance increases to 50, make it 70 if the target's under a Hex debuff, okay? Place a Perfect Veil on this champion for 1 turn if it kills an enemy under Hex debuff. On the A2, Feather Barrage places an increased crit rate and increased crit damage on this champion for 2 turns, then attacks all enemies. I love that she puts the buffs, obviously, before the AoE attack. Has a 100% chance to place a block active skills debuff for 2 turns if the targets are under Hex. We're going to try an all Hex team in today's video as well, so stay tuned for that. Sky Punishment, A3, places an increased accuracy buff on this champion for 2 turns, then attacks all enemies. Has a 100% chance of placing Hex for 3 turns. Has a 100% chance of placing a Fear debuff for 1 turn instead on enemies under Hex debuffs. Okay, Counterman, very cool passive as well here. So Counterman counterattacks with the default skill every time this champion loses 30% or more on a single turn. Always counterattacks when their 2 or more allies are dead. Very cool. It's kind of like a built-in retribution. So for that reason, we went with offense and support tree masteries on this champion. We went with arena masteries because I think she's an arena nuker. Or, you know, if and when Hex becomes a thing, or if you just don't have a better Spirit Affinity nuker, of course, you can use her in PvE as well. So for that reason, I picked up Ruthless Ambush. We picked picked up Opportunist Masteries. We went with Helm Smasher as our tier 6 mastery choice. And then we kind of, on the support tree, just picked up some extra accuracy, Lore of Steel, Master Hexer, and Sniper, which will obviously only benefit her A1 with that weaken. So not too bad. In terms of artifact choices, we went Savage with crit rate. Savage, really good. I would go crit damage if I had the gear, but I wanted to spread my gear out amongst all my favorite nukers in the game, right? So on the banner, we went with attack, I'm sure. Crit damage on the amulet, and attack on the ring. Man, we got a trick roll of defense on that ring as well. Crit damage on the gauntlets, attack on the chest percentage, and speed on the boots. So obviously stat priorities on this champion. She's very squishy. She's glass cannon right now. And this build, it's nice, but it's not anywhere near what we see on the endgame platinum, arena Cleopterix is. Man, I always struggle on her name. It's not like that. When we see some of these builds with 7,000 attack, way over 300% crit damage, just insane stuff. So here, if I had to be critical, the accuracy is a little low, but again, the way I'm using her for the arena, if you don't care about the debuffs landing necessarily in the arena off your nuker, if you just want to kill them in one shot, then accuracy, you can sacrifice some accuracy. If we are going to be using her in PvE areas in the game, of course we want that accuracy to be higher. We want the accuracy to be over 200, 250, depending on, where you are, or 300 if you're a Doom Tower hard, right? So crit damage, or excuse me, crit rate, attack, crit damage, speed, accuracy is kind of the priorities here. Again, if I had to be self-critical, would like to get that attack up a little bit higher than 4970. Her base attack is 1531, which is actually really high, so it's easy to scale that up, right, with a percentage-based gear. Defense is not bad. HP very, very, very squishy on this champion. So now let's go ahead and try her in action here, guys. Now before, what should I show you guys? The arena. I'll show you the arena first, and then after that, I really want you to stay tuned for the Hex team, guys. It's going to be fun. And I want to kind of share some overall thoughts, as I mentioned earlier, about Hex. So here's the squad, right? It's my normal arena team, but I took out Leoris the Proud, and I put in Cleo. So here we go. Let's see what kind of damage she can do here, guys. Now the perfect situation for her is to come in against the Force Affinity champions, right?
Oh, you like staring? Oh, why don't I give you a closer look?
Wahoo! Yeah, Cleo. Looking pretty good there damage-wise. That was a squishy team. Let's try this blender comp here. But go in there against Force Affinity champions, right? Nice to have that kind of Spirit Affinity nuker. Heck, if you're lucky enough to have a champion like Trunda, you can kind of sub them in, depending on which affinity that you're actually going against in the arena.
Yeah, you want some of this Moripo bitch?
Boom! So she's hitting very hard, right? And I didn't even notice which ability she's autoing into here. So let's try again. That was a counterattack, by the way, off of her passive that killed Skullcrown there. So not too bad, right? So let me go ahead and... Okay, obviously I'm not going to go against a Hegemon team. I don't really have a team set up for that. This team's probably going to be faster than me, but let's just give it a try. And I do want to pay attention. I'm going to take it off of auto for a moment here. And let's see. No, we win the speed race, so that means we win the battle, right? So let's go in here, hopefully, right? I don't want to speak too soon. I didn't notice, as I mentioned, what she went with last time. I imagine she's going to auto into Sky Punishment, but I do want to try out her A2. So I'd rather her lead off with her Feather Barrage because she's placing that increased crit rate and crit damage, more importantly, on herself first. So let's do that.
Oh, what's that? Oh, you come back for more?
And yeah, look at that damage. 152k on Ethos. I noticed that as the high number there. So very, very impressive. Let's try a tankier team to go against here. Again, I don't have a response. Okay, this team's perfect right here, right? A Duchess, a Rhodos, a Krisk. Oh my. All right, so unfortunately, we do have two Magic Affinity champions. The good news is they're both squishy. They're both the nukers of the team. Who knows about Rhodos? Might be some HP in there as well. But let's see how we can do against this squad here. So I do want to... I want to see what she goes with. I forgot. Let me see if she goes with her A3 here. I think she autos into her A3, which we don't want. Yeah, she does. So that increased accuracy. So a word to the wise here. You actually want her using her A2. What I'm going to do here, guys, is I'm going to actually cancel out of this one. I want to see if she can kill that Duchess or that Krisk if we use her A2 instead with the increased crit damage. Let's try that instead, okay? So a little playtesting live for you guys, right? And then we'll go right into Dragon's Lair, talk about Hex. So here we go, same opening, Same deal. Come in here, take away their shields. Go ahead and put in their decreased defense. And now we go A2 instead. Let's see if that changes anything here. Boom! Not really. Okay, so pretty much exactly the same result there. So we just wasted an arena token or whatever. But we should come back around and kill everybody again. Let's try. She did get stunned and locked out and CC'd and all the good stuff here. So this might be an L. Let's see, though. That was a lot of damage, man. That was a lot of damage. But again, it's justification to maybe bump up again the crit damage, on this champion, right? So let's see if we can come back here. Don't call it a comeback. Oh, Trunda. Ouch. And that's the problem. I really would not be using her, against Magic Affinity, a bunch of Magic Affinity champions. But we might pull this off. Ooh, Rhodos. Oh, the swift parry of Duchess. Take her down. There we go. And everybody's back up. Oh, no. Rhodos is actually scaring the bejesus out of me over there. All right, here we go. Extra turn. Come on, Cleo. All she needs is a chance. All she needs is a chance, but Rhodos is going to go first. Oh, no. Oh, this is the ebbs and flows of this battle. There she goes. Boom shakalaka. We finish it. Oh, man, the ups and the downs, the story arc, the climax. I can't get over it. All right, this is a good one. This is a good one. So we take the team down. It wasn't pretty, but you guys get the point. She hits hard. All right, going into Dragon's Lair, let's go ahead and talk about pretty crummy, but things. I'm sorry, Big Papa. Hopefully you get better. I don't want to go into the chat because it might be personal. Let's go into Dragon's Lair 25. Here it is, my all hex team. We need somebody to keep them alive, so we're gonna run a Duchess in the lead here. But we have Thylesia. We have I want to show you. I'll show you all the abilities, right? We have when attacking enemies under decreased defense has a 50% chance of placing a hex on them. Okay, that's Thylesia. She's our debuffer on the squad. We have, of course, the hex of Thea the Tomb Angel on her A1, and damage increases for each hex on the enemy team up to 300%. And we have my personal favorite before Cleo got buffed is Rule the Hunt Master. So he has a extra hit on enemies under hex debuffs, which is really powerful because Unleash the Hunt is a very, very strong nuke. So here we go. You'll see this team, and you'll see that it's good, it's fun, it's solid. They're going to be doing some serious damage. They will almost wipe, and Duchess will try to revive them, and it will be okay. But the thing is Hex is not an endgame strategy, but it is synonymous with a lot of endgame champions in Raid, right? I mean, they are the Tomb Angel and Mithrala as well from the Hydra clan boss, the champion that you get from, getting all her fragments. So the issue is Hex for me is kind of been relegated. I give it so much crap here on the channel because I hate it because it's so conditional. It doesn't really do anything, has to synergize with other abilities, right? If Hex gave them something like 10%, whatever it did, right? Let's pull up Hex actually for you guys, one sec. So Hex is like, it's weird, right? Because Hex debuff Raid Shadow Legends. So here's the Hex debuff. In the meantime, you guys can see, making our way through to the dragon. So, Hex has been a part of Raid Shadow Legends for a long time, but only the Minotaur could access the debuff. The effect itself has no impact on enemies or your champions. What is more important is the impact that can have on champions that interact with the debuff. So, that's the whole problem, right? Like, give it something else. Like, maybe they take 5% more damage, 10% more damage or something, right? Give it something. The fact that it doesn't do anything without that synergy makes it a little frustrating in my mind, right? And then on top of that, it's just they're putting it on the endgame champions, which is cool, but it's not a very compelling ability right now. Even with, what has it been? A year now since they've added, their first Hex champion and Thea the Tomb Angel. And they buffed her a couple times. Hasn't really made an impact. They've added a bunch of other Hex champions. Vildrax not seen in this one, but he's there as well. For me, it's kind of like bombs, like I mentioned, right? It's just not meta right now. And actually, a bomb team could probably outperform this team, right? It could probably outperform this team, meaning we wouldn't die so often. Maybe there's better support champions around the bomb kind of meta, even though it's not meta. And I don't know. To me, it's just a little it's a source of frustration. However, with all that said, I've made this call a few times on the channel. I'm going to stick by it. All it's going to take is I would not pass up on champions or, you know, at least vault them, right? Even epics and stuff like that. I am going out of my way to fragment, collect, and do whatever every Hex champion they add to the game, because my hunch is they're not going to back off of Hex at this point, right? I mean, they've proven that they're not going to back off of Hex at this point. So what I think they're going to do is eventually one champion's going to be added to the game that is an absolute game changer with Hex, and you're going to want some of these other Hex champions actually built or unlocked, or at least in your vault, right? So I'm not encouraging you guys to go out and build all of these champions. I would build Cleo, especially if you need a nuker, especially if you don't have, you know, Trunda or Magnar or any of the other strongest nukers in the game, Leo or Genbo. I would definitely get Cleo and put some resources into her. And you guys can see here, really handily out-damaging everybody else on this team, even with all that extra damage off of the A2 ability from Thea the Tomb Angel. So, you know, 2.5 million damage almost. What is this? Crap. Okay. I'm impressed with this champion. She's one of my new favorite nukers inside the entire game. I love when Plarium goes in and buffs a champion that everybody can have access to, right? It's really cool to see them do that. I wish they would do that more often, but really beggars can't be choosers. Let's stay positive here and say, yeah, man, really good job, Plarium. Love the buff to Cleo. Congratulations if you have her. If you don't, if you're collecting those fragments, good luck, guys. She's definitely worth getting right now and worth using as a Spirit Affinity Nuker. Thank you so much for watching. Till the end of the video, let me know how you feel about the Hex debuff and how you feel about Cleo in the comments below. Thanks, and as always, take care, guys.